Hi everyone, FPLMattDay here, and I'm back with another video. It is my FPL 24 to 25 ultimate tier list video. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, and get any comments and questions or thoughts in ahead of this week's deadline. I'm really excited about this video. What I'm going to do shortly is share screen with my tier list. It's going to have the whole tier list on screen from the very start, and I will go through each category. So this isn't about their ability as a footballer. This is about how I think they rank in terms of an FPL asset for this season. So let's share screen. And you should be able to see it quite clearly there. Fantasy is coming. This is my tier list, and this is how it is ranked. So the bottom is Loathe, don't like the picks. Then you've got Dislike. I don't hate them, I just don't really like them as FPL picks. Then you've got Neutral. I think there's a lot of potential there. Then Like, ones I really like. I think, they're worth having in. And then the God ones where I think you got them in, you're looking pretty good. So let's start with the very bottom, and we'll go to the Loathe category. And this is probably going to be quite unpopular amongst the FPL community, but I've got Concert from Aston Villa in there. The 4.5 million pick. I just don't like this. I don't see enough clean sheets from Villa. I know he's got a bit of an attacking threat, and he's quite good when it comes to the bonus points if they do keep a clean sheet. But at 4.5 million, I think there's so many better picks out there right now. We've got the likes of Lewis Hall or Livramento, Concert at Liverpool. Just not one for me. Then alongside him on the Loathe list is Ederson from Man City. The microphone didn't like that one either. At 5.5 million, there's just so many better picks to have. Not for me. Not for me at all. I think he was 8th, 9th ranked keeper last season in FPL. Really, really not worth having in our teams. And then Hudson-Odoi at 5.5 million. I know he's a very popular pick, a budget enabler, but I'm not liking it at all. I don't think he's nailed on in that team. Don't like Forest's potential with Nuno Espirito Santos in charge. And I just think if you're going to spend 5.5 million, you've got so many better options like Smith Rowe right now, as an example, or Minter at Brighton. And then you probably can't quite see him, but Calvert-Lewin, I still see he's in about 1 to 2% of teams selected. He's an asset from about 3 years ago. Not worth having at all. Really dislike that pick. So let's go to the dislike category. And this is going to probably shake up a few trees as well. João Pedro is in there. I know he's a budget 5.5 million forward, but he just doesn't get the consistent minutes. His returns are very patchy. I think you've got to pick him depending on the game week and whether or not you think he's going to start. And again, there's just too many players that are kind of that 6 million and above range, a little bit more expensive. One of them I'll talk about soon. I just think are going to play almost every week. I don't like that pick. And I don't like Anana from Man United at 5 mil. I think there's just better goalkeepers, which you can see in the God list at the very top. You've also got the likes of Nick Pope at the same price point. Another one I'm really not liking, you can see next to Onana, is Gahey at Palace. I know he's a good player when it comes to the bonus points, but you could go Munoz at 4.5 million if you're going to go Palace. He's far more attacking. And obviously got my Spurs shirt on here, but I'm still not liking Brennan Johnson at 6.5 million. Not sure how consistent his minutes are going to be. His returns were good last season at that price point, but again, I just think there's better picks. Areola as well at West Ham. I can see his ownership's quite high because he's a 4.5 million keeper, but I'm not liking their potential for clean sheets early on, especially whilst they have a completely new defence. And then Kukurea, another one, not really liking that pick at all, quite highly owned right now. So let's go into the neutral pick and the ones that I think, they're not bad picks. I don't think they're the ultimate best picks, but I think there's a lot of potential in there. Kudus at 6.5 million for West Ham, always good when it comes to goal returns, especially depending on the fixture. Virgil van Dijk, kind of like that mid-tier defensive Liverpool asset if you don't or can't quite get to Trent. De Bruyne, quite neutral on him. Don't think he's completely necessary. But again, case by case basis. Kulusevski, another one. I think we need to see how he develops in this Spurs team. Pedro Porro, I've got in there as well. Don't like our potential to keep clean sheets, but I know he's got a lot of attacking return, so he could be higher up the list, especially if Spurs do tighten it up a little bit at the back. But right now, I'm quite neutral on him. Same as Erdegaard. Unless we get an Erdegaard that we saw 2 seasons ago, I'm pretty neutral on him right now as well. If we can see him getting 10 plus goals, his price is going to be brilliant. But right now, very neutral. Same as Havertz at 8 million. I think there's too many good 7.5 million forwards. Nunes, again, I'm quite neutral. Don't know if he's even going to start the season. Not sure how popular he'll be under slot. We don't know if he's going to hit the sort of heights and form we've seen back at Benfica, at Liverpool. It's now his 3rd season. Nkunku, 6.5 million midfielder. Again, I'm neutral with him. I don't think he's anywhere near sort of like or God status right now. Need to see more. And then Tony, he would have been in the like category, but at the moment, we don't know if he's going to remain in the league. We don't know how Brentford are going to look. They weren't great last season. The 6 months when he come back, he got some good games and then he had some bad games. So he stays in that neutral category for me. So let me know what you think of that neutral category, the dislike category, and the loathe category so far. Be sure to like this video and get a subscription in if you're new and you're enjoying this video. We'll now go to the like category. And again, probably a few surprises in here. I think there's a few in here that people would have said, they've got to be in the God category. In the first one, the king of FPL, Salah, he's in the light category for me for now, which is rare. I'd normally put him in the God category. But I think at his price point, you can cover him in other areas with Liverpool. And I just think we saw last season still great points, still great goals. But he wasn't someone that was a necessary captain every single week. So he's in the light category. Same as Son. Don't think Spurs are going to be as reliant on his goals now that Solanke's there. So I think he's a like. He's still going to get his big hauls, similar to Salah. He's going to get his minutes, probably coming off the left, which will help him as well. So he's just a like for me for now. Phil Foden, another one. Incredible last season, but we're not sure what his minutes are going to look like at the start. So he doesn't go into the God tier for now. Solanke, another one. Great price. He's going to get points and he's going to get goals. But 7.5 million, I think, wait and see. Light category for me. David Raya, I think if he was 5 million, he'd be God status. But that little bit more, I think he's kind of a like for me. He's going to keep clean sheets. But there's other Arsenal defenders, which we'll talk about shortly, that you pay a little bit more for. And I think they're more worthwhile. Jota as well, really like him at 7.5 million. Already mentioned he can offset Salah quite nicely early on. Gvardiol at 6 mil. Potentially God tier, but I think we're not sure if he's going to play every single game. There's always that rotation threat at City. Ben White as well, like 6.5 million is probably a bit of a stretch. And you've got the likes of Timber coming in to the side this season. Eze as well, another one I really, really like. He's got so much potential, especially at his price point. And then Muniz, he's at 6 million striker. I really, really like for minutes. There is a lot of potential there, and I much prefer him to João Pedro. So let's go into the God status. These are the players. I think if you have any one of these in your side, 2 or 3 of these, you're going to be getting points most weeks, and you're covered pretty well, whether it's captain, regular points, that type of thing. So Erling Haaland, we all know about him, 15 million, absolutely, goals almost every single week, and a captain option as well. I think Saka as well, he's coming at quite a nice price point still this year, gets consistent minutes. Arsenal are still quite reliant on his goal returns. Also seems to get a lot of pens. Erdegaard doesn't always take them from him anymore. Gabriel and Saliba, both in the God status for me, 6 million, both goal scoring defenders, bonus point magnets, clean sheet magnets. Pickford, 5 million, lots of clean sheets, lots of save points in a Sean Dyche defence. I think that's a really nice price point. Trent Alexander-Arnold is my God tier Liverpool pick at 7 million. He's basically a midfielder, and I think this could be a big, big season for him under slot. He's going to get a lot of balls across the box as well. Ollie Watkins, godlike forward, consistent, leads the line for Villa. Champions League could maybe stop Villa a little bit, but I think when it comes to just knowing what you're going to get, there's a reason Ollie Watkins is 9 million. Same as Cole Palmer at 10.5 million. Did get a lot of pens last season, but even taking that away, his goals were strong. Great captain option for Chelsea in home games as well when they've got nice fixtures and very fixture proof player. And then the last two in the God status are Isak and Gordon, almost so similar to when we had Son and Kane all those years ago together for Spurs when they were on fire, but they're even cheaper as assets. Probably not as explosive in terms of numbers. Son and Kane were hitting, 20 plus returns each. But this is kind of a cheaper wish kind of version of them. Still, obviously, both incredible players, but for 8.5 million and 7.5 million respectively, absolute bargain. They cost the same price, 1 million more than Haaland combined. So for me, God tier players. And that's the list. That's the God tier, the like, the neutral, the dislikes, and the loaths. There's obviously players I've missed out on. There's I probably could have put in there that I've missed. But these were just based on players that are either very highly selected right now in the game or I've seen in a lot of drafts. So I wanted to talk about them. Pretty much everyone in that kind of God like, neutral, dislike, low, all within sort of that top 10 or 15% selected. We've definitely got the top 10% selected players in there. What you think of this on screen? In the comments, what you can see on screen. Like this video, subscribe if you are new, and get any comments and questions in, as I mentioned before. Also, I am an affiliate for the Fantasy Football Hub this season, so if you want to join them, 50% off, go into the link in my bio. If you don't win your mini league, they will also give you your money back. So go check that out if it's something you fancy doing. No pressure. Let's leave it there. I'm FPLMattDay. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.